Mr. President, I want to talk about LSU. You know, into life, a little rain must fall sometimes, and LSU has been in the news lately, and it's not altogether positive. So I wanted to come down and talk today about the LSU that I know, not the LSU that's sometimes portrayed in the media. Now, I didn't graduate from LSU. My mom did. My youngest brother did. He graduated from LSU and LSU Med School. My middle brother, George, did. Loved George to death. He graduated from LSU in 2 terms, Carter's and Reagan's. Took him a while. I taught for 15 years at LSU. I taught at law school. I was raised in a little town about 20 miles north of Baton Rouge, and so I was raised on LSU, particularly LSU athletics. In fact, I played a little high school basketball, and at the time, LSU basketball wasn't very popular, so they would give away tickets to high school basketball players to try to fill the stands. I tell you that because I had the opportunity to see Pete Maravich play his very first game as a freshman at LSU. So I think I'm qualified to speak about LSU. And look, I know what most of the world thinks when you think about LSU and other of our fine universities. You think about this. You think about athletics. I get it. I love college athletics. I watch them every weekend. LSU is certainly excels at athletics. We have, I looked it up, we have 21 sports programs at LSU. We actually have more women's sports programs than we have men's. We have 12 women's sports and 12 women's sports and 9 male sports. And I get that when a lot of people, since college athletics is so popular, I get that a lot of people, when they think of LSU, they think of Pete Maravich, or they think of Billy Cannon, or they think of Y.A. Tittle, or they think of Joe Burrow, or they think of Shaq, or Odell Beckham, or Simone Augustus, or Bob Pettit. I get that. And athletics are an important part of education. When Coach Kim Mulkey, for example, at LSU, the coach of LSU women's basketball, when she takes a young person, a young woman, and molds that young woman into a responsible adult, when she teaches that young person how to experience victory but also defeat, when she teaches that young person how to treat those 2 imposters, victory and defeat, the same, when she teaches that young person responsibility, when she teaches that young person discipline and the value of hard work, that's education. So athletics is education. But there's another part of LSU I want to talk about today. I want to lift up, and that's LSU academics. LSU was founded in 1860. And actually, LSU, people think of LSU in Baton Rouge. LSU in Baton Rouge is only one part of LSU. It's the main campus, and it's certainly an important part. But LSU is really other universities as well. I forget the exact number, but But LSU we have campuses in Shreveport, we have campuses in Eunice, we have campuses in Alexandria, we now have a campus in New Orleans. I'm probably leaving some out. We have a medical school in Shreveport, we have a medical school in Baton Rouge. We have about 29,000 students on our main campus, the LSU in Baton Rouge that most people have heard of. But all total in our LSU system, we have about 59,000 students. And I'm very proud of that. The main campus is hundreds of buildings on about 1,000 acres of land, over 1,200 oak trees, just beautiful. The architecture is in the Italian Renaissance style. LSU was one of the first universities in the country to admit female students. There was a time, believe it or not, in our country when women receiving a higher education degree was something unusual. LSU admitted the first woman, its first female graduate in 1905. It's a long time ago. You may not know, Mr. President, but LSU is one of just 8 universities in the United States, one of only 8, to have a law school, a medical school. We actually have 2 medical schools, a dental school, a veterinary school, and an MBA program. That's the LSU I know, in addition to college athletics. LSU is one of only 24 universities that is both a land-grant university and a sea-grant university and a space-grant university as well. Those are all designations of excellence in research. That's the LSU that I know, in addition to athletics. The LSU that I know, in addition to athletics, has a library, a main library in Baton Rouge that is just simply extraordinary. It has over 3 million volumes. We have an incredible collection of rare books at our library. Some of them date back to the 15th century. We have more than 80,000 rare books. A lot of people don't know that about LSU. The LSU Press. LSU publishes books. It publishes about 80 different titles every year. Through the years, LSU has published books that have won 4 Pulitzer Prizes. John Kennedy Toole's A Confederacy of Dunces is probably one of the best known, but it's only one of hundreds, really even thousands. You've probably heard of the Southern Review. That's at LSU. The Southern Review was co-founded in 1935 by Robert Penn Warren. Robert Penn Warren, of course, is a 3-time Pulitzer Prize winner. He published All the King's Men. He's part of the New Criticism School. That's the LSU that I know, in addition to athletics. If you want to talk about media, the Reveille is our student newspaper at LSU. The Princeton Review named it as one of the 12th best college newspapers. And it really is impressive. That's the LSU that I know. The LSU that I know has over 2,000 research projects going at any one time. I'll just give you a couple of examples. I don't really understand them, but they're damned impressive sounding. For example, the Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering. It's building these small underwater robots that can survey and collect data from the seabed floor. The Department of Chemical Engineering is developing molecular brushes that can scrape away at molecules to give these molecules new properties. I don't understand how they do it, but this research is going to be used to improve everything from contract lenses to the recycling of plastics. In our College of Engineering's Division of Computer Science, there's a very impressive research project going on known as researching something known as micro-signal attacks. Projects like these are the reason that LSU is one of only 21 universities that's been designated as a national security agency's center of academic excellence in cyber operations. That's the LSU I know. That's the LSU I know. In addition to this LSU, both important. Both important. But LSU is even more than its fine athletic program. LSU, I looked up some of the people out there who went to LSU, and of course, again, I talked about Bob Pettit. He was a great one. Y.A. Tittle, Joe Burrow. These are athletes. We're proud of them. But the other LSU, this LSU, is Professor Rainer Weiss. Professor Weiss is now deceased, but he won the 2017 Nobel Prize in Physics. Professor Bradley Schaefer, he shared the 2011 Nobel Prize in Physics for his role in supernova cosmology. Professor Thomas Cutter, his team won the 2015 Nobel Prize for their role in their work at the Sudbury Neutrino Observatory project. The LSU I know is Maud Cook. Mr. Cook was a very successful businessman. He was the CEO of Atlantic Richfield, ARCO, for years. The LSU I know is Mr. Pat Taylor, now deceased. He was an LSU graduate, built Taylor Energy, was a champion for which we call the top scholarship program. The LSU I know is Hubert Humphrey, who also went to our university. The LSU I know is in the arts, Joanne Woodward, an LSU graduate. Rex Reed, a film critic. The LSU I know is Dr. Ronald Douglas, who's a distinguished professor of mathematics at Texas A&M University. A&M is very proud of him. He got his graduate degree at LSU. The LSU I know is Virgil Suarez, professor of English at Florida State University and an award-winning writer who got his Master's of Fine Arts at LSU. The LSU I know is Fonville Winans. Perhaps you haven't heard of him. Look him up. Famous photographer. I have a number of his breathtakingly beautiful photographs in my office. The LSU I know is Bill Conti, who was an Emmy and an Academy Award-winning composer. The LSU I know is Nick Pizzolatto, who was wrote the HBO series True Detective. The LSU I know is General Barrow, General Robert H. Barrow, who was a general in the Marine Corps. I could keep going. I could keep going for the rest of the afternoon, but I won't. I think I've made my point. No matter what you read about LSU, and I know there's been a lot in the news about our athletic program and frankly also about our academics. I just want you to remember this, and I know I'm biased. It truly is an extraordinary university. It's an extraordinary university of student athletes. That's this part of LSU. but it's an extraordinary university and collection of academics and academia as well. I'll close on this note. My first job in government was with a governor. He was a reform governor. I was elected to try to change Louisiana politics, and he did, and as a result, he only served one term. His name was Buddy Romer. But Buddy used to say all the time, and he would say it to me, he'd say, Kennedy, here's what you've got to understand about Louisiana. He said the key to Louisiana's future is not who the governor is. He would say, Kennedy, the key to Louisiana's future is not who the U.S. Senator is. The key to Louisiana's future is not the unemployment rate. We talk about it and we worry about it, but that's not the key to our future. The key to Louisiana is it's not the price of oil, as important as that is to an oil state. The key to Louisiana, Governor Romer would say, is education. And education in Louisiana is Louisiana State University. So to our media, I believe in the First Amendment right and say what you want. I value opinions. Opinions are like elbows. Everyone has one. You're entitled to share it. But I want you to think about and hopefully learn more about the LSU I know, which enjoys excellence not only in athletics, but in excellence in academics. Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate your attention.